what our purpose should be as a church, must be as a church, it's in these words: present everyone mature in Christ. And when I say mature, I don't mean mature in years necessarily. I mean complete. That word mature in Greek means complete. It's the picture of someone who has been born again because they've met Jesus, and Jesus says, I don't want to leave you a baby. I want to make you a full-grown adult who is made in my image, a man or woman who lives and acts and thinks and speaks like I did. And that's the work of a lifetime. Paul is saying, my ministry, my work, my life's work is to produce people like that, to present people complete in Christ. Now, if you gave every pastor in America truth serum and you ask him, what is your number one goal as a pastor? What are you about? You gave them truth serum and they couldn't say what they're supposed to say. They said what was true. I'm afraid a lot of pastors would say, my goal is just to keep my members happy, because if they're not happy, I'm losing my job. And others would say, my goal is for our church to stay alive. We're an older church and we're not reaching anybody new. And so we have to get at least a core of younger people in, or we're not going to last another generation. And then you have other pastors who are on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, because they're in a church that's planted in the right place, in the right neighborhood, and surrounded by growth. And so they're busting the seams. And their goal is, if they were honest, we want to get as big as possible. We want to get as many people in this place as possible. If that means we're emptying out every other church in town, well, so be it, because that's my job. And there are even some churches who could honestly say, our purpose, our goal, what we are aimed at is reaching people with the gospel, which is wonderful, but even that's not enough. Because you might remember when Jesus was about to ascend into heaven, at the end of the book of Matthew, first gospel in the Bible, in Matthew 28, verses 18 through 19, we call it today the Great Commission. He said these words to the disciples. He said, therefore go into all the world and make disciples. He didn't say make converts. He didn't say make good Baptists. He didn't say make tithers. He said make disciples. So what does that look like when it happens?